Okay, good. Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, yeah, that was an audio issue. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna state again. Wait. Okay. State again is that we're gonna begin from Yizhuang line, which is the line on the southeastern end of Beijing, the pink line over here. We're gonna go up and to this place called Songjiazhuang, and then it's a huge sort of transition hub in Beijing, and it can transfer to two major lines in Beijing, which is the line 5 and line 10. And then so we're gonna transition onto line 10, and then this is a rim structured subway line, and then after that we're gonna transition onto line 19, which is a very stylized subway line in Beijing. And then so I'm gonna provide some historical background to the Beijing subway. Okay, so there are 29 operating lines, including the Capital Airport Express, which is this one, on the very northeastern end of the city, and then a one to the very southeastern end of the city, which is the Daxing line. No, the south end. This is very. It's like in fact it's so far from the city that it's considered. It's in the sort of borders of a neighboring province instead of Beijing, but it's still considered a property of Beijing. And then there are two tram lines, and the tram lines are typically very slow, but they put it there just so that no purpose. They could just so they could put it there. And then so the total number of stations is 420, and then among them 99 are transfer stations, like the one I talked about here. And then they can transition. Some can allow for transition onto 2 or 3 lines, or some can do 2 lines, or some can do only 1 line. But depends on the infrastructure there. And then so the passenger volume in 2024 reached 3.619 billion, and then the daily average is 9.8 million, which is more than the NYC population. And then the single day peak record was 13.75 million passengers, and then it was set on July 12, 2019. But I mean, after the pandemic now, the record should be reset quite soon, and then because of the population increase as well. And then so the line the station I was talking about here, this is Songjiazhuang, which is like the ranch of the Song family, if you translate it directly. And then it connects the Yizhuang line with the line 5 and line 10. And then I'm gonna play some of the videos now.
列车停稳后，请先下后上。The train to Songjiazhuang is arriving. Please stand clear of the doors.
Just to note, the glass or the windows are quite dirty, so sometimes the focus will get taken away from the windows. So yeah, that's part of why the quality is mediocre. Yes. Okay, I mean, if you guys can see pretty well, that's good. But the main thing is that because the splotches is like the water stains on the glass, they can sometimes take away the focus of the camera. So yeah, and then these are the typical high-rise buildings in Beijing. I mean, these look better than the normal ones, but the general style is like very tall, and then more than like 10 stories or 15 stories, and then all apartment buildings instead of the single story house with like a yard and a backyard and a garage. Yeah.
We're now arriving at Beijing Culture Park.
And then this is like to the more rural area of the city. So it is sort of, this is a transition between this place. This is a like a newly developed area with these tall buildings, and then this is a transition between this and then the actual like the center of the city and all of the really developed stuff. So this is like what that normally was. So that was a little glimpse into the equipment that I used for filming this. It is a sort of it's like a phone holder, and then there's the magnetic stabilizer there, and then the bottom is like the handle is sort of a separate from the hinge, so that it can maintain the stabilization. And then so some background on the Yizhuang line is that it is the 10th subway line completed and in operation in Beijing, and then it was ultimately completed on December 30th, 2018. And then because typically with the subways in Beijing, I don't know for other parts of China, but it's a multi-stage sort of development. So like there's phase 1 and then there's phase 2, but ultimately there's typically 2 phases. And then so the December 30th of 2018 was that the second phase was completed, and then added the Yizhuang railway station as a destination. Oh, hello, Lord Popcorn. And then so that was added, and then that was ultimately the line that we are all very sort of that we know now. And then the representative color is pink. So every subway line has a designated color. So like this is the pink one. This is Yizhuang line, and if we tap on like line 1, it is the dark red, and then line 2 is the dark blue. Line 3 is the sort of, this is a brownish color, and then line 4 is sort of green color. And then line 5 is purple. Line 6 is dark yellow, and then line 7 is like beige. Line 8 is green, and then line 9 is light green, and then so on and so forth. So it is 23.3 kilometers long, with a total of 14 stations, including 6 underground stations and 8 elevated stations. So, for example, this is we're filming the transition from the above ground to underground. So it suddenly turns dark. And so as of 2019, the daily average passenger traffic at Songjiazhuang Station, which is the station that this Yizhuang line is terminated at, this place, is 112,000 entries and exits, and then the transfer volume was 241,000. So yeah, some of the ambience for the transfer here. these are this is a funny advertisement. Sort of. It's the ceilings and then the lighting is quite bright, but the floors sometimes can get very dirty. I mean, today it looks fine. And then so these ads are. It says, if you want a big can of soda, just drink this. This brand is called 大窑, which is like the big sort of ice seller thing. And then this guy is a very famous actor in China. He is like he's like the Jason Statham of China, maybe, if you could call it that. Yeah, the airport. Yeah, that makes sense. I think, especially this spacing and then this ceiling is kind of like the Beijing Capital Airport. Maybe some U.S. airports as well. Okay, and then so this is, they have these collaborations with IKEA, and then so there it's like a vending machine, and then if you pay, and then you can take one of those IKEA figures out as like away with you, and then so they have these displays, but these displays are different. As like they are in some of the subway stations, but they're different. Some of them is like sell these plushies, and then some of them sell it's like furniture, and then it's like a normal, it's like what you would see in an IKEA, but they moved it into a subway station. And so that's the service time. So it is, if you self-service, is like you pay and then you take this plushie out, is like from 6 to 11 p.m. and then the with people is like from 4 to 8, which is, I don't understand why it's so late, but oh, and then for these Swedish words, it's like this is pronounced as Jungoskog, yes, or jungle skog, and then they have these translations into Chinese, but they make that, it's like they use the Chinese words to generally make the same sound as what you would say in Swedish. And then so this says plushie, and then it's like a red gorilla, which is this thing. Okay, that's interesting. It's like they use the Swedish names in the U.S., but do they translate it into like local language, or they just put the like the Swedish name there, and then when you want to buy something, just okay. So they don't translate to English. Okay, I mean for China it may be different because most people can't pronounce the Swedish words. But yeah, oh, that's interesting. Oh, they do translate. Okay, that's nice. And then this is free water. It's like if you, and in Germany too. Okay, nice. So so it's like it's a WeChat, because everyone has WeChat on their phones, and then sometimes the water can get quite expensive. It's like so they have these free water things where you scan the machine with your WeChat, and then you fill in a ton of stuff, and then you get free water. It's kind of, I'm not very fond of this, but I mean, you get a custom sort of water bottle, and then the water bottle has your profile picture, is like and then whatever you want to say on it. So okay, so WeChat is the Chinese equivalent of WhatsApp, and then so the WeChat quite literally means as like WeChat, and it's a mobile app. Yes. Yeah, the spelling is WeChat. As I'm fond of WeChat, but I'm not fond of this machine, because there's you have to scan it, and then you have to provide all of your personal data to this, even though you have already when you scan WeChat. But yeah, if you don't scan your stuff, and then you don't provide necessary information. They don't give you the free water, and then it's not like you just scan it and then the water just comes out. You have to do a ton of it's sort of like filing paperwork just to get a moderate sized bottle of water. So yeah. And these are the vending machines where they have the ice lemon tea and then some other Chinese beverages. Oh yeah. I forgot to highlight the thing that was shown here. This is very interesting. Not really free. Yes, you have to buy it with info. Yes, that's a very accurate description. And then so it says this summer you will read. Oh, it's like you will get your acceptance certificate. It's like this is because I filmed it during the time of the Gaokao, which is like it's like the SAT of China, but like it's like higher stakes than SAT. Because if you fail this, you don't get a good college, and then you don't get a good job, and then you don't get a good life. I mean, that's how the government is like markets it. So this is the higher stake college entrance exam. And then so when I filmed this, the entrance exam was just finished, and then so everyone's waiting for their scores and then waiting for their acceptance certificates, and then yeah, very high stakes. And then people they stay up late and then they study, and some people get suicidal because of this, because the stakes are crazy high. And then even the English they have English sort of test papers, and then the test papers they have these very tricky questions, and it's designed to make you fail sort of. So that's how they can separate between the good and the great. And then so that's why everyone is so paranoid and then so anxious about it. Maybe same situation in Korea and India. Okay, so this is we're now in Caoqiao station, which means is like grass bridge, and then after this we're gonna transition onto line 19, which is this is a very stylized line, and then so I'm gonna provide some background on line 19. So it is a line crossing the western part of Beijing's central urban area from north to south. So the central urban area is basically if you extend from Tiananmen, which is the very very center of Beijing, and then so the west of it is here, and then exactly right here to the west of Tiananmen, and then it crosses from the north to south, and then the span of this line is quite large. It's like the main everything is like the cultural essence, and then is mainly covered by this. And it is intended to be a high capacity line, connecting the districts of Fengtai, Xicheng, and Haidian. So Xicheng is in the center, and the Haidian is more to the south, I believe, and then Fengtai is to the north. And then it is representative. The representative color is dark pink, which is this color here. And then the maximum operating speed is 100 kilometers per hour, and then the phase one of this project. So to our new viewers, is that the Beijing subways, well, like I don't know for the entirety of China, but the Beijing subways typically have two phases. So they first complete one phase, and then after that they will choose to expand. So right now what you're seeing here is phase one, and then after this they're gonna begin phase two, and then it's gonna expand more to the north and then more to the south, and then the operating speeds are gonna be higher for those, maybe because of new tracks, and then could facilitate it's like the 120 kilometers per hour that is set to happen. And so this is phase one, and then it was opened on December 31st of 2021 with a total length of 20.9 kilometers, and then all underground with 10 stations. And then so phase two is set to complete in 2027. So more to the north, more to the south, and then some branches. And then so phase one of line 19 traverses the historic core of Beijing, and passing the west side of the Forbidden City complex. And then the decoration of many stations draws from local cultural characteristics. So it's like the decoration for the stations are all unique to their set locations. It's like later you will see, but for this station, these two stations especially, because of what surrounds them, they have these stylized decorations that are related to what is surrounding them. And then so the integrates the traditional and modern Beijing essence in its design, and then the overall design concept, or like the theme of this entire line is called Gathering Beijing's Essence. So they have all of these stylized designs, and this is the first station we're gonna cover today. And then so the Caoqiao, which is like grass bridge, and then so it is it became a village in the Ming Dynasty and was known for flower planting. And so it is outside Yuanmen, which is like the right gate of being sort of safe or peaceful. And then is the outside of that gate is a river called Ma Cao River, which is Ma is horse, and then Cao is grass, which is like the horse grass or grass horse river. And it is a tributary of the Liang Shui River, which is Liang means cold, and then Shui is water, so it's like cold water river. And then that river is especially interesting because it is the government has spent quite some money cleaning that river up, because it is quite dirty. And then now I don't think it's been years since they have been working on it. I don't think it's getting cleaner, but I mean, it's not getting anywhere soon. It's still gonna take a while. And then so during the rainy season, the river swells and then causes travel inconvenience. And so in the Ming Dynasty, a wooden bridge was built over the Ma Cao River, which is the horse grass river. And then in the Qing Dynasty, it was changed to a stone slab bridge. And then as it crossed the Ma Cao River, it was called Caoqiao because of the location, and then of the name of the river, and then of the things that were transported on there. So it was ultimately called Caoqiao, which is a grass bridge. Then a village formed to the east of the river and was named after its proximity to the bridge. And then that village sort of determined the name for this station because there is like in the same area. And so the art in this station is like the general color is gray, white, and black as the main tones. But the ceiling lines of the station reflect the concept of speed and efficiency, which is the sort of the two words that can sum up the age of the internet. And then so the concourse wall, which is this wall, is decorated with a public art piece called Age of Style, or Age in Style, and then by an artist named Zhang Zhouhong. And then so the work highlights the stage of life and portrays a girl's day, and then representing every subway commuter. The wall scenes reflect the girl's life and expresses the emotional state of city dwellers in the internet era. And then so in this shopping cart here, there's the some shopping bags and then groceries. This is chicken or turkey? I think chicken, yes. And then sausage, some sauce, maybe ketchup, potatoes, pineapple, and then banana, cheese, and so yes. So there's the roses, and then this is the work life, and then the private life, and then you get the cameras, and then photography, and then and then the subway cars here, and then the subway map, and then the person, and then there's a morning routine. Okay, so now we're on the route to transition from the line 10. We just took line 10, and then we're gonna transition to line 19. And then so this is quite a long walk because they combined a ton of stuff in this station. They combined line 19, line 10, and then Daxing Airport Express. Okay, I'm glad you like the art. And then so they combine it all. So this is a 300-meter walk and it's down a long sort of corridor to do it. Okay, so the background sort of announcement there was, it says, if any one of you is like your is like mobility is less is hindered by one of the following factors, is like by a large suitcase, or by maybe some injury, like this guy, no offense to that, but and then or if you're pregnant or old, or you're carrying is like you're holding a child or something, and then so it advises you to take the escalator instead of the so there are two escalators. It's like, I don't know what that's called, but there's a vertical one, and then there's one where you roll up the yeah. So they advise you to take the vertical one, because that's safer than this one, the one going diagonally. No, which path goes up? I was like, do you mean the escalator or the path we're on right now? Non-escalator. Okay, so yeah, this is a slanted sort of platform. So yes, it goes up. Okay, so the thing with this is that they made it that was a flat belt, but I mean, what I think Lord Popcorn was asking was that it's like the entire general path. Yes, it was a upsliding path or platform. So the general thing with this is that because this transfers onto the Airport Express, and then you could do check-in there with certain airline partnerships. Like this, they offer this in Hong Kong as well, which is for Cathay Pacific or some other airlines. Maybe you could check in the subway, and then you don't have to carry anything when you get to the airport. You could just do the security TSA, and then just go in and wait for your flight. So they do this in here as well with certain airlines like China Southern and then China Eastern, because they are the main investors of the Daxing Airport project. Okay, so we're on line 19 right now, and so line 19, it takes the cockpit is not enclosed. Mostly it is enclosed with a wall and then the doors, but for this you could see everything. You could see the measurements, the tunnels, and then the driver. So yeah. Yes, that is very surprising because they typically it's like how they work in the airlines is like they don't want anyone to it's like be near the driver because there may be security risks involved with that. I mean, they have quite the degree of sort of maybe trust or distrust in Beijing because they have the standard protocol is that you have to pass through it's like an airport sort of TSA, but less strict security scan, and sometimes they scan your water, and then if they see a knife or some thing that can be used for aggression, they just flag you down, and then they ask you why do you have this knife, and then these questions. Yes, this line is quite special, but normally it's like they don't have this kind of stuff. And so some people they just take photographs through these windows, and then it's like an interstellar or like Star Wars hyperspace jump scene, this is quite cool. I mean, they should have this kind of stuff for every line, but depends on. Yes, this is very cool, but depends on the location as well, because if it is a very central line to Beijing, maybe they won't have this because it's like no mistakes. That's the sort of the slogan. And you can feel the deceleration there, and then so it's preparing to go into a station. Okay, and so the inner sort of furnishing of the train is like it has two kinds of furnishing. This is like the more higher end, with individual seats, and then the armrests. That's like the premium economy of the subway. And so this is like the economy class of subway, which is like what is normally seen. It's a 5 or 6 seat sort of configuration, and then this is the normal. This is the norm. And then the yellows. Yes, this is quite a new, and then it's not used quite a lot, by people. So it's clean, and it's new, and then it's quite. And then so this is the yellow seat. Is like most lines have this. It's called the courtesy seat, and then so it's called in Chinese. It's like the seat of compassion or seat of love, and then so as like they say is like if you sit in this seat, you have to give seats to the elderly, the pregnant, or like the one with like a child, and then or maybe injured. But I mean, rarely anyone abides by this. I mean, sometimes there are situations where if someone is sitting in this seat, and then some people just it's like some old people, they take advantage of this policy, and then so they force someone to get up, and then it sometimes results in injuries and then viral videos, of course. But rarely anyone abides by this sort of courtesy policy. If I see this seat as like, and it's like some people we just don't sit in it because even if we would give the seat, we just don't want to. We don't want to be hit, sort of. So we just sit somewhere else, or like beside it as well. Okay, so this is the beginning station of this line 19, and then so this is the station is called Xingong, which is quite literally translates to new palace. Xin is new, and then Gong is palace. So, and then the central theme in this station takes a new palace, new scene, sort of as a main aesthetic, and then it combines silhouettes of Xingong architecture, which is sort of Chinese royal architecture, with the station's structural elements, and the overall space continues a modern minimalist style, and then because the surrounding area of the station is like it's a very eco-friendly thing, so they don't want to go too all out on this, so they made it quite minimalistic. So the station's decoration is quite bare. It's like they don't have a ton of roof stuff like the maybe some other stations on this route, but the thing with this is like the strengths of this is like this bare style is that it is maximized architectural space, and then it improves the station's visual height. So it seems it seems taller than if you would have something extending out, and then it's making the space very cramped. And then so some murals related to the imperial gardens of the area are still present on the walls. So if you say it is minimalistic, maybe there's some non-minimalistic elements to it as well. And so in the middle, the concourse and art installation combining sound, light, and electricity is set, and also accompanied by rhythmic music. It's like the acrylic Chinese style used at the top change lighting colors constantly. It's like when a day I went to film this, I didn't see the color change, but it is there. It is there, and then so it looks quite good. It's like the semi-transparent or like transparent glass boards, and then so they have this color changes. And so the thing with this line especially is that they have these very stylized, as if you take the escalator and go up or go down, you can see all these art pieces and structures. So these are the wall murals that I was talking about. Oh yes, the lighting was nice, and it's quite different for some. Some are like more muted, and then some are like very sort of extravagant. It's like that mural there was it's a typical it's like a Chinese a gate. So like the gate is down here, and then the archers and then the cannons are around this sort of edge, and there are two gates separate. So this is a sort of open space, and then so they can shoot from above down here, and then there's a second gate. So it's not like if you go in and then you're in the central, it's like the important areas of the palace. So yeah. So it is quite a large station. Yeah, so as you can see there, it's like it doesn't have any extensions. In fact, it goes up instead of down. So they elevate this space. It's like typically it will be the roof would be like this, it will all be covered up, but they made it go up so it looks nicer. Okay, this I'm not gonna talk about this right now. There's like chat. Do you know what Pop Mart is? Lord Popcorn. Do you know what Pop Mart is? Do you know what this is? Okay, tell me in chat. Lol. Okay, so what this is that it's a glorified gambling thing. So it is, if you buy these little boxes and then you can rip it open and then you can see what you got. Yeah, it's cool. But then you can see what you got from the. It's like they have these sets and then inside there's like 12 or like 9 things, and if you open it you can see which one of the 9 or 12 you got. So this is very popular in like Australia and then maybe the US and in Southeast Asia now, and then and especially one model. Yeah, so this is called La Boo Boo, and then this is the craze over this sort of this figurine globally is reaching its peak right now, and then tons of people are rushing to stores to buy it, and then some of them are getting sold secondhand for like 10 times the purchase price, and then this is quite a desired thing, and they have all kinds of styles, not just this figure. There's some ducks and then all kinds of stuff. This is another end of the station, so it's the one where you can transfer to the Daxing line, and then it's quite a more modern, got a more modern look to it. And it's got quite a sort of, I don't think it's European, but it's like a Western sort of a modern look to it, and it's combined. It's like this. The color here is like the bronze and then copper color is like it combines like steampunk with something like it's like a more futuristic vibe. Yes, so talking back to that reference is like the reference of traditional architecture in the temples and buildings. Yes, so they have these sort of shapes, and so this is very reminiscent of the things you would see in like the Forbidden City and then the Summer Palace. So they have these shapes, but they spin it with a modern touch, the lights and then the RGB and all that. 为了保持良好的乘车环境，请不要在车站列车正式实行。为进一步加强我们的交通运输水平，保障交通秩序，负责现在运动的工具，保障好的交通运输。 And so this is what you will see if you're going down the escalator. And then so still similar murals, but yeah, equally it's like the same style. And so they have these displays for some of the stations. Like they show you how crowded each carriage is, so you could pick which one you're gonna ride on. I mean, typically it's still like not crowded because this station is still it's more of a sort of a tourist train instead of it's like a line 10, which is a working train. So the traffic in this line is like lower compared to something like line 10, which is around the city, and then extends to basically everywhere, or like line 5 as well. So yes, maybe this will grow to have more people take it. I mean, it's quite nice. And the new trains have these digital displays for like new furnishing. It's like before they have these like sort of these lights, and then they will indicate which station is next, which station you're arriving right now, or which stations the train has already passed. And so they refurbish it to have these kind of digital displays. They can show more on this, and then they can show which exit goes where, what goes to what, and then what you could transfer, and then yeah.
您可在该站换乘10号线大兴机场线。We are arriving at 草桥. Please change here to line 10 at Daxing Airport Express.
Yeah, some even go one step further. It's like for example, they indicate like exit F, it goes to which shopping mall, or like if you walk how much, or you transfer to which bus, you could go to where. And so some go extra further. But I mean, this is a quality of life improvement. Okay, so this is the second station on this line, and it's called Xinfadi, which is the corresponding Chinese characters are these three. Xin means new, and then Fa is like sort of as like send, or like deliver, and then Di is the place. It's the place where new things are sent. And then so it adopts the theme, the fruits and all that. It's called. The name is called Phoenix in Flight, and it is it's called Fengxiang Lantern Festival, which means it's like the pleasant Phoenix Lantern Festival. It's like this is all in the general design, and then so it reflects the fusion of Beijing's traditional and modern essence. And then so areas such as station hall entrances, transfer corridors, and triangle crevices at the escalators are specially decorated to enhance guidance and recognizability. And then so why they have so many fruits, and then as you will see later, is like the livestock and all that here, is that because this place is mainly a food specialized place. And then so the little history to this market, and then is that in 2020 multiple local COVID-19 cases were continuously discovered in Beijing. And then so preliminary judgment indicated that these cases may have been infected due to contact with contaminated environments or infected individuals within this market, this Xinfadi market. And so the market was closed afterward, and then temporarily due to the possibility of secondary cases. Modernization causes a lot of American places to ignore their roots. Maybe, I mean, because sometimes these stylizations bring extra burdens to the financing, which could be used elsewhere, and then as long as they don't take down their buildings, I think it's fine. I mean, that's my take on it, maybe. And then so yes, we used to joke that because this Xin Fabi, this is the same character as COVID-19. So COVID-19 is called in China as 新冠, which is the same character as this character. So we used to joke that this is actually called COVID delivering place. It's like the place where COVID gets delivered. So it's 新冠 and then 发源地. So it's like the origin of where all the COVID is. I mean, maybe it's true that I mean, the government says COVID in Beijing originated from here, but I don't know. So and generally the people who used to refer to this place during the pandemic was they added the COVID characters in here, and they added the originated characters in here. So it's called where the COVID originated. And so here's some of the art. So they made the store like a watermelon, and then so the inside furnishings are all, it's like a watermelon. They have the seeds, and then yeah. Oh yeah, and these are all like mosaic tiles. It's like they are little pieces, and then they fit into these. It's quite pretty, and then I think it took a lot of time for them to do this. I mean, I believe the project commenced sometime around 2019, and then they finished in 2021, which is like 2 or 3 years to do this. I mean, they have a ton of people though, walking slowly, and I think that's appreciated. Okay, that's nice, because it's nice to know that I'm walking slowly, because I still think the camera work is still kind of crappy. It's slower than the last time, but still could be better. But thanks for the compliment. And then some more of the wall murals. And so as to why I didn't film these is like up close, is that because they are outside of the station, so you have to swipe your card to get out, and then especially in sort of small it's like in long routes it can be very nice. It's like for a low rate you could go a far distance, but if you want to get out on every station, it can cost, is like the fees, it's like they have a fixed sort of starting fee, and then it depends on how far you go that they slowly add to it. But if you just take one station, the starting fee is still there, so not quite economical for that. Oh no, I didn't. It's like, for the no, you didn't miss anything. It's like the fixed fees are. It's like the starting fee is 3 Chinese yuan, which is the equivalent of $0.4. Yes, $0.4. But if you wanna go far, and then go, for example, like stay on the subway for like 1 hour, or like the equivalent distance of what you would travel on the subway for 1 hour and 30 minutes maybe, or maybe 2.5 hours. The fees gradually rises, and then sometimes it can get to $7. No, 7 yuan, or like even higher. But and then 7 yuan is like equivalent to $1. It may be sound quite cheap in US dollar terms, but it's still, it's like they say, small drops of water can form the river, or like the lake. So as like these little fees, they add up. Yeah, so part of the reason why they believe COVID was originated here is because this is the wholesale center for fruits and vegetables, and then the farm produce from all of the country is like they'll be delivered here, and then because COVID, they attribute the original transfer of COVID to be as like animals and then livestock, so it's quite easy for this place to be contaminated, sadly. And so this is our third station. It's called Jingfengmen, because we already went to Caoqiao. This is our first station because we transferred in from line 10. So we skipped this. And then so this is Jingfengmen. Jing is like the scenic scenes, and then Feng is wind, and then Men is the gate. So it's like the gate of scenic wind, or like the gate of the wind that brings good views and good scenes. And then some background on this is that is a city gate located on the southern side of Beijing, and it was destroyed by the Yuan army in 1215. So it was when the Mongols were invading China that was destroyed. Yes, if I remember correctly. So the station level of the station adopts a warm yellow tone. So it's the yellow tones here, and then the reminiscent of the Xingong, the new palace station, patterns on the furnishing as well. And then so it is with dot lighting and strip light tubes interwoven, creating a bright color scheme. And the interior design inherits the historical appearance and cultural tradition of the ancient capital from the Jinzhongdu. Jinzhongdu at the time, Jinzhongdu was like the gold. It's like the city of gold clocks. So it was the name for Beijing at the time. Beijing has quite a lot of names that evolved over time. There was Beiping, there was this Jinzhongdu, of course, and then there's Jingdu, and then no, not Jingdu. It's like so there are like ton of names that evolved over time. And then and then it's also reminiscent of like the Ming and Qing dynasties. The Yuanmen, which I talked about earlier, is like the gate of it's like right leaning piece. I don't know. It's not right leaning as in the politics right leaning. It's just like it's like the right. It's like left right. That one. Okay, so here's some of the station stuff. And they have the ads as like the the shows and then or like television series on these boards. And then so they have these shapes as the enclosures of the paintings, and then they have the inner lights. And then so, oh, hello, Givens take, okay. And then so the thing with this is that in China every shape has a meaning to it, and then so the circular or like the very roundish shapes, they mean that it's like it is very generous and a very nice. I mean, the exact definition I am not sure of, but every shape has a meaning, and then the round shapes have their positive connotations and then definitions to it. And these are the kites. In China, it's like normally it's like now the kites typically don't look like this, but in the old times it's like the kites look like this. I mean, still some people it's like make kites that have this shape, but these require some as like very special sort of making techniques. It's like the white paper here is like semi-transparent, so like translucent, and so it's a very very thin piece of paper, if I remember correctly, and it's very pretty. 为了人和其他乘客的安全，请老人、孕妇、行动不便者及携带大件行李。And so yeah, they also in China there are also a ton of like a bird vendors, so like they just keep their sort of birds in these cages, and then sometimes parrots, and then sometimes they let it out. But I mean, they keep the birds in these cages. Where are the people? Good question, but I mean this is an underrated subway line, I think. It's like people sometimes come here for photos, and then but rarely anyone uses it for like commuting. So I mean, with the second phase expansion, I hope it can fix this problem, because this is some good infrastructure. I mean, just rarely anyone uses it. Seniors, pregnant women, passengers with disabilities, or passengers with large items and trolleys, please take the elevator. Thank you. Yeah, so every station has one of these modern sort of signboards, maybe, or like a collage of signboards. It's like these show the exits and then what they could go to, and then these are some sort of TVs to show that there's like some videos, like maybe advertisements or there's like interesting stuff that's going on. And then there's the as a general location of the station, and then the map of the inside of the station, and this is the Beijing subway map, which is this one here. Oh yeah, and then some stations have like double-sided mosaics. So that was one side of the concourse, and this is the other side of the concourse. And so this is a more modern, or like more sort of city style, because it's a transition sort of from the because that one was kind of like a jungle-ish, and then more nature related, and this is more city related. Yeah, so this is Qianmen, the one we visited last time. this is the Arrow Tower, and then that's the main tower is like this is the one we visited last time.
请老人、孕妇、行动不便者及携带大件行李、手推车的乘客使用垂直电梯。谢谢。Seniors, guided women, passengers with visitors, all passengers with large items and trolleys, please take the elevator. Thank you.
And so they have these sort of clovers, or like these cutouts on the station. I mean, this is even more minimalistic than I think the Xingong stations, like the new palace station. But I mean, the yellow colors and then the brown as like accents is like it's a very harmonious sort of piece. And so this is our another station. This is called Niujie, which quite literally means the street of the bulls, or like the street of the cows. And then so it's here. It's located quite near the center of Beijing. This is Tiananmen, and then it's here, very near. And then so this has quite some background to it. So it is a street in Beijing's Xicheng district, known for its concentrated Hui ethnic population and the famous Niujie Mosque. So this is a Muslim style and a Muslim. So this entire thing is based around the Muslim community, or the Hui community, which is Muslim around this area. And so the Niujie Mosque is the largest and oldest mosque in Beijing. And so it was originally a pomegranate orchard. So the residential area there was called Liujie, which is pomegranate is called Shiliu, and then so they called Liujie, and then short for Pomegranate Orchard Street. And so as most residents were Hui people and were known for making delicious beef. Oh yeah, so Muslims can eat beef. I sometimes get these confused. It's like the Hindus cannot eat beef, but the Muslims can eat beef. And then so they made delicious beef, and due to the homophone between Niu and then Liu, which is cow and pomegranate, people named Liujie to Niujie, which is the name we know right now. And so the subway station adopts Hui ethnic traditional culture as its cultural entry point, and then combining the silhouettes of Niujie buildings with the station's structural elements for a strong sense of design. So the conquest murals showcase ethnic customs, which we will see later, and then the traditional caisson ceilings of the old buildings bring ancient capital charm to the modern station. So okay, some background about the Hui as like ethnic minority. So this is one of China's larger ethnic minority groups, and it distributed across all 31 provinces, autonomous regions, and municipalities. And so they trace their origin back to the Tang Dynasty. And so according to existing historical records, as early as 651, Muslim merchants from Arabia and Persia arrived in China via sea and settled in cities like Guangzhou, Quanzhou, and Hangzhou. And they built some of the earliest mosques in China, and then married and had children, settled for generations, and established public cemeteries. So Guangzhou and Quanzhou are very near the very bottom of China. So Guangzhou is like the very, very bottom, and then Quanzhou is closer to it's a beach. No, it's like an ocean away from Taiwan. It's a boats ride from Taiwan, and then. And so in the early 13th century, during the Mongol Western expeditions, groups of Central Asian Muslims, Persians, and Arabs were continuously sent to China, and they arrived in various capacities. And so they arrived as soldiers, craftsmen, merchants, scholars, officials, and religious leaders, and then spread all across the country, and forming the core of the Hui people. And during historical development, they observed Han Chinese customs through intermarriage and political and religious integration. So the Han Chinese are basically the ethnic majority of China. It's like for me, it's like I am a Han Han Chinese, and there's tons of ethnic minorities in China, and they it's like some is like assimilated, it's like the sort of American Indians maybe, and then some are still, they have their own places, their own customs, and then they yeah, and then so the intermarriage and political and religious integration, and then so in the Yuan dynasty, some terms such as like green-eyed Hui Hui, which is like the used to describe the Hui people who have green eyes, and then converted Christians or Zoroastrians were all part of the Hui ancestors. And then so after the Hui formed, they were, though they were primarily engaged in agriculture, they became renowned for their business acumen, and then so their industries have jewelry, spices, medicine, food, slaughtering, horse trading, camel caravans, sheepskin rafts, and long distance trade. So they were quite renowned, sort of around the world, and in China maybe. And so the architecture here is like this reminiscent of the mosques, and then they combine some of the it's like these were the result of, it's like combination between like Muslim culture and Chinese culture, and they just took it one step further with these. Yeah. So that when you go up the escalator, you could see the sort of the facade. No, not facade. It's like the roof, the ceilings, and then the curvature of it, and then. And so here are the ethnic traditional sort of murals, and so you can see some of their industries through this. For example, there's the it's like the slaughtering, which is like or like they use cows for their it's like for their food, maybe for their transport, for work, and then. And so these are traditional sort of traditional clothing, and then I couldn't find anything about the couldn't find too much about the clothing, but they have separate sort of colors, and then they have separate gowns for separate occasions. And then, for example, as like during the wedding, if I remember correctly, they have the women are supposed to wear white, and then the men on different occasions they have to wear different hats. It's like sometimes they can wear the ones without the, so there's like a lid, and then they can, or sometimes they wear ones with like 6 edges, and then so yeah, it really depends on the occasion of what they, and also what they wear. And this is mosaic, just like all the other ones. The other albums. And so they have the dance, and then they have, it's I think the Muslim culture is very close to like Indian culture. Is like, I mean, of course they have the different customs, but the dancing, the music, and then all that is quite, it's like, so I think that's why I sometimes I get it all confused up, but there are differences, undeniably. Oh no, you skipped your meeting. Was it important? Okay. Glad you're here. Undeniably. No questions. Okay, thanks for that. I think the camera work is slightly better, but still a lot to optimize. And so for this, when you go down the escalator, they don't have a ton of stylized things like the one the previous stations have. But the main sort of the attracting point for this is the mural there. It's quite a large mural. And so what the background sort of the ambience was saying is that you cannot use your self-prepared seats inside of the cabin because it blocks the way, and then it's very inconvenient for everyone else. So the train leaving the station. Glad that you are not seasick. And then so the thing of this is that it accelerates quite fast, and then supposedly it can reach 100 kilometers per hour. But I think generally it operates around 80. So it's like the speed is from 80 to 100. And so this is our this station is called Taipingqiao. Taipingqiao. If you translate it directly, it means the bridge that is too flat. Tai is like the Chinese word for two. It's like Too. And then Ping is flat, and then Qiao is bridge. But I think it means that Taiping, because these two words go together, is like Taiping means peace, and then Qiao is like the bridge of peace, maybe. So that's kind of the linguistic background behind this. And so the project name for this is Financial Street Station, and so you will see why in a minute. So the station space is grand and dignified, extracting elements of Chinese landscape painting and iconic capital buildings. So the solemn architectural facade and ancient capital's cultural mural resonate, fully displaying capital style, ancient charm, and modern appearance. And so this I quote from when they were the sound. Okay. I will take note of that. But so the thing is that so that's I quoted this from Baidu, and I think this is what the designers were saying when they designed this. And so to the south of the station are Fuxingmen Inner Street. Fuxing is like revitalization, and then it's the gate of revitalization basically. And then so it is, and then there is also the Changhua building. Changhua, it means long speaking, which is it means telephone. It's like how they describe telephone or like phone calling, and so it's the telecom building. And there's the China Merchants International Financial Center, and then so to the north is the Beijing No. 8 High School, which is quite a renowned high school here. And so to the east are the ICBC headquarters and the National Ethnic Affairs Commission, and so as well as the National Ethnic Culture Palace, and then to the west is the China National Petroleum Corporation's International Office Building. So why I say this is because it's like what is around the station determines is like what this station is, because most of it is finance related, economic related, and then so it determines what is inside the station. So this 519 meters from Jinrongjie, which is station, Jinrongjie station, which is Jinrong is economics, is like the Wall Street of this area is like the Wall Street of Beijing. And then, so this is the mural. And so some of these have their significance, like this is called the Rome market economy, and this is all about economy. So like this is the Roman market economy, and there's some about Persia, and then so this is the it's like the development or like economic as like evolution of economics. And this is sharecropping. Gong means share, and then geng is crop. Is like sort of cultivating crops, and then this is the system of sharecropping. And the 大贬值, 大 is like big, and then 贬值 is like depreciation. So that's the big depreciation, and then this is the Colombian exchange. And then 哥伦布 is the Chinese of the Christopher Columbus, and the slave trade, and then yeah. And there's the free trade, free market, and then a ton of and then the industrial revolution, and then so this is the sort of history on this wall. And there's the New Deal by Roosevelt. It's like, where is it? Here. New Deal, and then the Harvard School of Finance, I think. And there's the Marx is like Karl Marx, and then the Capital, sort of the book is like Das Capital, and there's it's like this is it's like the factory line is like production. It's like developed by Henry Ford. There's also it's like railroad management, and then yeah. And there's the United it's like the reserve, and then oil crisis, and then yeah. No, it's like the New Deal didn't affect China. It's like this is like the entirety of like the world economic history. It's like they put some of the major events on the wall. It's like it's not the New Deal affecting China. Wait, Federal Reserve, that's the word. Yeah, Federal Reserve. I don't think it's copper. It's done in the style of copper. It makes you feel like this is copper, but I don't think this is copper. It's probably metal with the paint on it. And there's more as like the socialism market. So, yeah, and then there's the there's like planned economy here, and so this is more to the modern side. And sometimes they can get quite mixed up because like and then this is about China, I think. So like 1990s, 1980s, yeah. And so this is to the outside of the station. So I sort of I scanned the card and I went out of the station. And then so some more art here. Yes, that's a good point. The history integration, and then not like a textbook. Yes, that's phenomenal. And yeah, you can see this here, the beads. So this is an abacus. So it is a manual calculation tool, and it originated in China and was an important ancient Chinese invention. And so before Arabic numerals were introduced, the abacus was widely used worldwide. And so in some I think movies where they talk about China developing the atomic bomb, it's like it is said that the atomic bomb in China was developed with people just using the abacus because they don't have to. The calculator wasn't as sort of advanced as now, as it was then. So they made the atomic bomb with the abacus, just moving the beads and then calculating. Oh yeah, so that was about the Silk Road. Yes, I forgot to mention that. Thanks for to CN275 for bringing that up. So like these are like Silk Road stuff, as like the camels, and then the entire style as like the yellows and then the oranges, and then is used to highlight the as like in the desert where the Silk Road would take place. So this is a giant abacus, and then these two Chinese characters here is like it's read as 算盘, which is 算 means calculate, and then the 盘 is board, so it means a board for calculating. Is that all one abacus? It's a combination of like multiple like small abacuses, but sometimes if they use it, they will combine it all to use. Of different sizes as well, different numbers and.
When taking the escalator, please stand firm and hold the handle. Do not run or wheel in the wrong direction. Do not lean or reach out of the escalator or leave the children unattended. Thank you.
huge long ones actually used? Depends. I mean, do people still learn to use them for tradition's sake? I don't think they learn it for tradition's sake. It's like, sometimes I read about this when I was researching, is that they still use this the abacus system to teach young children about the numerals, because it's sort of divided between the tens and the ones. So it's still quite useful for young children to learn about numbers through the abacus. So I don't think anyone learns it for tradition's sake. I mean, not that I'm aware of. Okay, and then this is our fourth to last station. This is Ping'anli, which is the sort of, let's say, place for peace. I don't know. Yeah, place for peace. And then so it is on brings elements like Chinese lantern festivals and shadow puppetry into the station concourse. And then each column is transformed into a lantern. And then so there are 4 rotating shadow puppet lamp columns, creating a contrast of movement and stillness. And so passengers walking through feel as if they've entered a lantern festival. And the lantern festival, so the rotating ones are these ones. They are semi-transparent, and then the light shines from the behind, and then it highlights the shapes. And so some background about the lantern festival is that it is an ancient Chinese folk custom, and it refers to the large lantern exhibitions organized around the Lunar New Year and Lantern Festival. It's like the temple fair we talked about last time. And so it is often accompanied by folk activities and rich in traditional and regional characteristics. And so on the 15th day of the first lunar month, the Lantern Festival, and so Chinese people have the custom of appreciating lanterns. So with more than 800 years of history, the Zigong Lantern Festival has evolved into a distinctive cultural industry. So Zigong is a place in Sichuan. It is to the west. It's like minor south, and then to the west of Beijing. It is the province of Sichuan. Yeah, so this is the sort of the production of these things. Is like it uses a very sort of old traditional technique, and then it is sort of, I mean, if you have one, it's very nice. They almost look animated. Yes. I mean, they have the specialized animations for this as well. It's called shadow puppetry. So it is a sort of, it's a translucent board, and then the light is shining from behind, and then the silhouettes of figures are being. It's sort of like watching a play, but the play is like the actors behind are manipulating the limbs and then the feet of the shadow puppets. And then so what you will see are actually just dark silhouettes, or like shining sort of silhouettes of the puppets instead of the actors themselves. It is a very sort of very demanding on the coordination of the hands, because you have to coordinate and control four of the limbs. Yes, so that is a good mention. As you can see, this station is quite different from the ones before, because they have these sort of it's like extrusions from the roofs, and so it is sort of, it's going down on you instead of like the ones before, where it's opening up, and so these space can look quite compressed, but it also adds the sense of the 3-dimension sort of feel to it. And these boxes, these grids also remind me of the if you guys have seen the 2008 Chinese Beijing Olympics opening, it's like usually it's like in old times they have the Chinese characters inscribed on each of the sort of these pillars, and then they just stamp they put it on ink and then they stamp it on paper. And so this is like the one shown in the opening ceremony of it, and then where all kinds of these pillars are moving up and down, and then they can do printing. It's like the I think does the Gutenberg press work this way? I don't know, something similar. Oh yeah, and this is the shadow puppetry I was talking about. Here, this is the shadow puppets I was talking about. So this is what the viewers would see. So behind it is a light, and then there are sticks as for the actors or the controllers to like manipulate the limbs. And so this is a depiction of a Chinese sort of temple, and then it looks like a bottle of wine, the Chinese bottle of wine, but it is a temple. I think this is the one in Beijing, but the surrounding areas are as they made adaptations, I think. Yeah, and so this is very New Year-ish. So just like when the Lantern Festival would take place, there's the Chinese, like the traditional red lanterns, and then there's some other lanterns, and it is what would happen in like the old times. And then these three letters, characters here, this is read as Cai Dong Mi, is like guess the light, is like the light riddle. So this is a sort of is a game people would play. It's like there will be a riddle. It's like hitting to one of the Chinese characters or one of the Chinese words, and then they will give you a clue, and then you will have to guess which one, which character or which word it is. And so they will sometimes compete for prizes in this kind of event. It's pretty fun. And some reflections on the ground here. This is another station, and it is called 积水潭, which means the pond of accumulated water. And then 积水 means accumulated water, and then 潭 is like the pond. And then so this is the station is named after its proximity to 积水潭, which is a place, and then the ancient name for 什刹海, which is a sort of is a popular tourist destination, and then popular as a around the lake, and then there's some vendors, and then around it, and then so this is a popular Chinese destination. And then so once a former course of the Yongding river, so it is translated as accumulated water pond or accumulated water lake. So it is a once the royal elephant washing pool, and so the station concourse includes murals of elephants bathing in the pool, which we will see later. And then so the ceiling also has art depicting double carps placed playing in water, and and then with seemingly swimming in green waves. So these are the traditional like patterns, and then you guys can have a feel for the ambience. Hello. How are you? Doing fine. Thanks for that. And so these are the colors here. How's my day? Just began. This is the first thing I'm doing today. So these are the carps I was talking about. It's like the seeming like green water. Do I stream daily? No, I stream every week on it's like the same time as this, is the every Tuesday 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And so this is mosaic, just like all of the other station murals. But I like this quite a lot because this is the especially the green colors, and then there's the fish, and then all of the details there. 请老人、孕妇、行动不便者及携带大件行李、手推车的乘客使用垂直电梯。谢谢。Seniors, pregnant women, passengers with disabilities, or passengers with large items or trolleys, please take the elevator. Thank you. I don't stream. Why don't you stream daily? Do you work where like business or job? No, I don't work. I'm a student, and so streaming daily is quite taxing. And so some background on the carps. So the Chinese carp culture has deep historical roots, and so the book of songs and poems, 诗经, sort of as like the Psalms in the Bible. It's like it says there's a famous quote. It's like, if eating fish, it must be carp from the Yellow River. And then so the tale of the carp leaping over the Dragon Gate is a famous Chinese legend of carps ascending against the current and symbolizes perseverance and success. And so carps are also considered a national fish in China, and it is resilient and widely distributed, easy to farm, and then cost effective and easy to process. This channel is 2 weeks old. Oh yes, the mural is from the viewpoint of it's like an underwater scene, so that's why the colors and then all that is stylized that way. And so there's the shape symbolism here. It's like the round shapes symbolizes generosity and then good virtues in China. Becoming well known. This is a passion thing. Maybe getting well known will be a byproduct. Maybe, I don't know. And so here are the elephants bathing that I was talking about. So this was once a to our new viewers. This was once a royal elephant bathing pool. So here are the elephants sort of bathing. And here are the carps I was talking about. It's like when you go down and then you see the background of it's like fish swimming. So two views, one of them is going up and one of them is going down the escalator. So yeah, animations, yeah, the color palette is very pretty. And then animations, animated assets. Okay, that's nice. I mean, animations depends what kind. It's like anime I don't watch. I watch like Ninjago and all that. Okay, I'll have a look after this stream. Yeah. This is like identical to this is identical to like the elephant's bathing part, the one shown before, but it's quite pretty as well. Okay, bye, and Liz. Okay, have a great evening. And some kites that was shown before. It's like the traditional Chinese kites. And then you could if you don't have a Chinese subway card, you could purchase it's like the one-time disposable cards here. So you could tap which places you want to go to, and then you can just pay via Visa, MasterCard, or what is this, Union Pay. Yeah. And this is another style. It's different from the one of the elephants one. This is a more elevated one. This has multiple layers and. Yeah. Oh man, just realized we're cutting it short on time. Okay. I like how they recreated the ripples in the water as well. This is very neat. Right, this is the second to last station. This is called 北太平庄, and then so this is the north ranch of peace. I mean, you could translate it directly this way. And so some background is that incorporates the element of kite and inherits the Confucian concept of education and teacher reverence. And so the arched ceiling breaks the traditional spatial form, and then blending Beijing folk kite imagery with blue color scheme, and then creating a bright and clean atmosphere. Okay, Discord. I don't have Discord though. And so some art on the wall about Chinese sort of train history. My Instagram is linked in the bio of my Twitch channel. And so there's the high-speed rail, and then there's the maglev, which we'll cover next week. And there's also some more traditional trains in it. So this is the Chinese rail history.
乘客您好，本站为自助购票时段，请您使用自动售票机购票或充值。如需帮助，请联系车站工作人员。谢谢。
Line 19 was opened in 2021. 12/31. December 31. Okay, thank you, Lord Popcorn. Yes, the Instagram is in my bio. Follow request, sorry. Okay. Oh, so yeah, December 31st of 2021. Yeah, that was the opening time. And this is very significant. It's like this is the old train tickets, and then this is 3 Chinese yuan, and there is also this is like commemorating the paper tickets, yes, and this is commemorating the beginning of Chinese sort of subway system, and then they use these paper tickets. And then this wujiao is like it's like the U.S. equivalent of like 5 dimes, so that's how this came to be. I mean, this sort of calculation for money is basically non-existent right now, and then most people just do mao and fen. Mao is like dimes, and then fen is pennies, I believe. What time of day do you film this? I've never seen a subway line look so empty. I mean, I filmed this during the midday, but the follow, the empty. I mean, this is empty because this is quite a new system, and it doesn't not used by computers that much, so not many people around. There's some also about the aerospaces, like the satellites, and I don't know what this is. Maybe this is a plane, I don't know. Do not run or go in the wrong direction. Do not come in or reach out to the escalator or leave the train unattended. Thank you. Inlaid color stone. Yes, I believe, because this is not like mosaics, so this is another sort of style. Yes, because this is quite different from the mosaics because it is a sort of just like a stone, and you can see the reflections and then the glossiness of it. So I believe it is the colored stone. I'm gonna have to research more on that though.
根据北京市有关交通路面安全条例，请配合安全检查，携带箱包及物品的乘客进入。
So this is a drill for drilling the tunnels in I think in the subways.
入会之前，将物品放置于安检机朝向快朝后前。谢谢。Please have your baggage checked before you pass the gate. Thank you. 带大件行李、手推车的乘客使用手提电梯。谢谢。
And these are some on the other side of the it's like when you exit the station, you can see these artworks. This depicts people like working on the project. So this is our last station. This is called Mudan which is it means peony garden. So Mudan is the national flower of China, and then it means it is peony in English, and then yuan means garden, so peony garden. And so some background on this is like there are no records of large-scale peony cultivation in the area of the station. Living monument, how great. Yeah, you can say. I mean, this is the sugar-coated part, or the nice part. I mean, so most is like the typical subways. It's like not as extravagant as this one. So okay, no records of large-scale peony cultivation in the area of Mudangyuan Station. And so in 1973, the Beijing television factory was established here, and its product was named peony. It's like the television's name was, the product name was like peony. And so in 1988, a residential area was built on the east side of the factory. And by the end of 1990, it had taken shape and was named after the brand. So that's why it was called Mudangyuan, or peony garden. And the station's interior features blue carved surfaces extending from central to side vaults, centered on the columns and decorated with white patterns to show the blooming dynamics of peonies. And then the curved wall follows the arc design, and then peony-themed paintings, and then reflect the atmosphere of the gracefully falling flowers. And then the peony symbolizes wealth and peace, and with large and fragrant flowers. And it has the nickname National Beauty and Heavenly Fragrance. And it has been named the King of Flowers. And then it serves great ornamental and medicinal purposes, and it has 2,000 years of artificial cultivation history in China. And so you can see these are peony stylized paintings, like the green ones, and then they have the following as like elements that accompany it, and there's all kinds of colors of peonies. Especially this one. I like this one quite a lot. There's the blue, and then there's like the mountains, and then the sort of the oceans and the mountains. This is nice. just notice the on the walls there are little engravings sort of the of peonies. This side is like they combined the peony element with like the dragon. As like you can see some of the it's like sort of resemblance to a dragon there, a dragon head. Okay, that's about it. I mean, this is a part of the sort of ambience where it's like the train is just riding from one station to another. This is not quite necessary. I mean, sorry for the small delay. It's like we're 5 minutes over time, and then this is the end of the stream for today. And then we stream every week, same time, same place on Twitch, every Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So have a great evening. Okay, guys, bye bye.